So, I have a terrible sense of humor, and I don't always have control over it. And I remember a few weeks ago, my wife was talking to me, and she was telling me just this horrible story. It was so sad. She's telling me a story about how some family that she knew, they adopted a child, and unfortunately, only a couple weeks after they adopted the child, the kid passed away. And I didn't say this, but I definitely thought it. My first gut reaction was, I wonder if they got a refund.
Oh my God. So, you're right. There is absolutely something wrong with your sense of humor.
I don't know. If anybody listening, if this has ever happened to you, first of all, I'm sorry. But did you get a refund? I'm just curious.
Oh.
Anyway. All right. Theme song.
And this gets both incredibly fun and incredibly loud very quickly.
I'm offended by people like him when he takes Christ and exploits him with this crown of thorns and puts it up in Times Square.
You insulted my religion. I'm offended. You can't say that. Shut up, shut up, shut up.
Give me one damn program. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I'm sick of atheists diminishing Christian intellect.
The real question, what is God like?
Who is more irrational? The guy that believes in a God he doesn't see, or a guy who's offended by a God he doesn't believe in?
What do you think of the theme song? It's pretty amazing, huh?
That's a beautiful theme song. Did you write that yourself?
I did, actually.
I could tell.
I wrote it and recorded it myself.
Oh,
Except
I
for,
could tell.
I don't. Have you listened to episode 1 yet?
No.
Oh, well.
I don't like to look in the past. I like to look forward, where I'm going, not where I've been.
Oh, okay. So you already know what episode 3 is about.
Dude, episode 3, that's the one where Anakin Skywalker gets his appendages cut off. Everybody knows what that's about.
Let's see. How many times does Anakin Skywalker get something cut off of him? He got an arm cut off in episode 2. He got the rest of his arms and legs cut off in episode 3. And
so
then
do we count that as 2 times?
What?
So is that 2 times or is that 4 times? It was kind of a personal deal the second time too. Well, there it is, second time, so 2 times.
Well, it's okay. Count Dooku cuts off his, I want to say it's his right arm in Attack of the Clones, and then in Revenge of the Sith, he gets his left arm and both his legs cut off. But then in episode 6 in Return of the Jedi, Luke cuts off one of his hands in the big final battle with the Emperor.
Yeah.
I think this guy has gone through like 16 different arms and legs.
Well, I'm sure technology's progressed by that point in their time. I'm sure he didn't have to have that many replacements. But I can tell you this, the guy definitely needs to do a better job of maintaining friends and family because they are killing him.
Everybody he's ever been close to has eventually cut something off of him.
That is true.
Word to the wise, don't trust those you love.
I would say Padme didn't, but they did get married, so she took his nuts.
I was going to say she cut his balls off. Good times.
Beat you to it.
Ah, well, here's something to think about. A little Star Wars sub-theme. Luke cuts off his hand. I'm pretty sure it was his right hand, and I'm pretty sure Anakin was right-handed. So it's almost coming full circle. He should have pulled out and just jerked off on Padme.
Oh. Talk about full circle. We're back to you have a terrible sense of humor. There's something deeply wrong with you.
Seriously, though. Did you get a refund? I just want to know.
Straight to hell.
Oh, I should probably introduce this shipwreck. This is the Left, Right, and Wrong podcast, the show where a Christian and an atheist talk about stuff. I give my atheist perspective. My brother-in-law Stephen gives his Christian perspective, and this is not a debate show. As much as some of you might want it to be, it's not. We just talk about stuff that's going on in the news, talk about Stephen's failed marriage, stuff like that.
Right.
You can follow us on Twitter at the LRW Podcast. You can also follow us on SoundCloud. That is soundcloud.com/leftright-wrong. We're also on YouTube, where you're probably hearing us, and that is our channel's called Frayed Not, and obviously the
You should go
episodes
ahead
are-
and spell that because I literally spent like 15 minutes looking for it earlier.
Hey, that's a good idea. It's Frayed Not, as in FRAYED Productions. That's the channel name.
All right,
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
kick it off.
All right. So, as soon as I saw this news story, I got lots of butterflies in my stomach. Like it was almost like it was like the first time you see something that you know you're gonna love. I don't know.
So we all know this is going to be terrible.
Yes. One of my favorite people. He's been a huge influence in my life, especially when it comes to hating the gays and all things that are not Catholic. Bill O'Reilly has lost custody of his children in a New York court ruling.
And this makes you
apparently-
happy.
Yeah, it does. It does. It really makes me happy when somebody who and I can say the same thing about Rush Limbaugh. It really makes me happy when somebody who is so clearly insane and full of shit gets like their happiness stripped away from them. Because they set themselves up to be like, I don't know, superhuman almost. Like they're always taking the moral high ground, and they're always doing the right thing, and they're the ones who are right, and they're the ones who are trying to steer America towards, I don't know, better days or something, and they're always talking about the sanctity of marriage and morality.
Andy, they're just trying to make America great again.
Well, you got me on that one. You know what's funny?
Sorry, Donald, that was just a cheap shot.
Okay, so Bill O'Reilly loses custody of his kids in a New York court ruling. A New York appeals court held last week that Fox News host Bill O'Reilly's school-aged children don't want to live with him anymore and should live exclusively with their mother, O'Reilly's ex-wife, Maureen McPhilmy, the Scottish film director.
Oh, McPhilmy.
I know, I'm
As a
hilarious.
side note, that's not actually probably her profession.
Right. She's an Irish film director. So.
Such a racist.
Oh, Filmy. Anyway. Oh, Filmy. That sounds so bad.
I don't know how many times I have to point out that you have a horrible sense of humor.
3's enough. Okay, so the lengthy decision affirms the holding of Nassau County Supreme Court justice last year that the children, now aged 13 and 17, should live full-time with their mother. The former couple had been splitting residential custody. As we reported at the time, O'Reilly appealed that ruling. Oh, by the way, I'm getting this from Gawker. Gawker.com.
Okay.
Let's see. As we reported at that time, O'Reilly appealed the ruling, thereby delaying its enforcement and, of course, extending his multi-front battle against McPhilmy and her new family.
This marks the end of a bitter custody battle lasting nearly 4 years, during which O'Reilly's daughter told a court-appointed forensic examiner that she witnessed her father dragging her mother down a staircase by her neck.
Oh, yeah. Where are you getting that from?
Daily Mail. So I'm gonna go ahead and go out on a limb here and say maybe he wasn't dragging her down the stairs by her neck. Have you ever seen The Exorcist?
Yes, I have.
He may have been trying to stop her. You don't know what's going on in that house. Manhasset, New York.
Okay, so
That sounds
are
fancy.
you suggest we could get slammed for libel, okay, or slander? Are you suggesting that Bill O'Reilly's Scottish film director ex-wife Maureen McPhilmy was demon possessed?
No, not at all. I'm saying crazier things have happened. Maybe she was falling and he was catching her.
By her neck?
Hey, the dude obviously cannot have great aim.
Okay. Okay. See, that doesn't make any sense to me, because if she fell, then clearly right at, and if he was trying to catch her, like, oh my gosh, I caught you, Scottish film director, love of my life, then she would have been like, oh man, thanks for catching me, even though it was by my neck. That was totally an accident. I fell. And her kids would probably be like, holy shit, at first I thought you were dragging her down the stairs, but this is so clearly you catching her by her neck.
What do you know about 13-year-olds? When was the last time you saw a 13-year-old not take advantage of a situation and turn it in their favor? When was the last time that ever happened? Okay, so
I'm noting your
dude tries to
sarcasm.
catch his wife. She falls down the stairs. She's unconscious because he failed. Because, I mean, I would not bet my life that Bill O'Reilly catches me if I try to fall down some stairs.
Are you saying that Bill O'Reilly missed the point that time?
Missed the point?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, sir, but I think you are trying to put a spin on this story.
Pinhead.
This is a no-spin zone.
Clearly it's not no fall down the stairs zone. That was the stupidest thing I've ever said. If I could go back, I'm going to have to leave it in for integrity, but that was the most god-awful thing I think I've ever said.
Well,
Not in terms of like being offensive, just plain stupid.
I will forgive you
All right, thanks.
this time. Just don't let it happen again. Bill O'Reilly's 66 years old. He's got a 13-year-old son. Wow.
And a 17-year-old.
Daughter. Yeah, but I mean, you got a 13-year-old. You're 66. Kudos, Mr. Riley.
Well, his swimmers ain't 66.
No, they were 53 at the time.
There's a picture of O'Filmy.
Yeah, there's one on here.
She doesn't look Scottish.
No, she doesn't. She also doesn't look within 20 years of his own age. Just saying.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Let's see what. She's 49 and he's 66. So yeah, they're 17 years apart. My bad.
So
17 years.
They fit an entire.
She's 49.
They fit their. They fit an entire kid between their age difference. That doesn't make any sense.
Technically, they fit too.
Yeah,
It's kind of impressive.
that is pretty impressive. Anyway, so
But
back
eventually, the kids are going to get older.
so back to what we were saying about him failing to catch his wife down the stairs by her neck.
Yeah, despicable.
On the other hand, because I was, through a heavy shroud of sarcasm, was saying that if it were an accident, I think it would have been pretty clear that it was an accident, and they all would have went about their day. But the fact that both of his kids are saying we saw him drag her down the stairs by her neck, you don't just imagine somebody getting dragged down the stairs by their neck. So this leads me to believe, I'm kind of going out on a branch, and I know a lot of you probably won't agree with me. I'm going to say that
Going out on a branch.
limb, whatever.
Thank you.
Seriously?
I'm going to have to forgive you again for that. I'm going out on a branch here.
What's the difference between a branch and a limb?
Well, metaphorically speaking, who knows?
Oh my god. If you were not 800 miles away, I'd punch you in the dick.
You know
right
the
now.
problem is, though? The problem is that nobody goes out on branches. Everybody goes out on limbs. Nobody goes out on branches.
Left, Right, and Wrong podcast. Asking the hard questions.
Getting to the facts. Meat of the subject.
So, I'm going to go out on a twig here and say that Bill O'Reilly is probably an asshole. What do you think?
I try not to pass judgment on people. I mean, if I had a dad worth that much money, I might say all sorts of ridiculous things to get him to pay me to shut up. I don't know. I think honestly though, I don't want to kid on this matter. If in fact this man has had some altercations with his wife, which got out of hand, I think that clearly that the court is making the right decision, and he needs to own up, apologize, not just to his family, but to his fan base, people, who look up to him. And I think he needs to abide by what the court says. So if they say you leave him alone, then you just leave him alone. Because obviously, if that happened, that's deplorable, and he shouldn't be allowed to have his kids around anyway.
Preach it. I don't know. One of the reasons why, like I was talking before, one of the reasons why it just kind of makes me so happy is because I just love to see, and I mean, I'm with you in the sense that I don't want to judge a book by its cover, but at the same time, if
You really, really do in this case, though.
I really do, because if I run into a random person on the street, regardless of the race, religion, ethnicity, whatever, you know, I'm going to try my hardest not to have any preconceived notions about that person. But if that person comes up to me and is like, oh yeah, I got my kids taken away because I drug my wife down the stairs by her neck, I'm going to say, you're probably a huge fucking asshole, and I don't want to associate with you. Like, that's all I need. Nobody's going to come up to me with the ridiculous exception that he was stopping his wife from drowning their kids in a tub. Like, unless it's something crazy like that, nothing's going to really stop me from making that sort of judgment call. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like, you know, something like that is justified. And it's, even though it's a small bit of their life, it's still a pretty serious thing, you know?
I don't know though. A guy with that kind of a violent attitude, you might not lip off to like that in real life. I mean, I've never seen you fight, but I think it'd be a good one between you and old Mr. Riley.
Like, it'd be a fair fight.
I think it'd be far more matched than most people would think. Sounds like he's got some experience on you.
So Bill O'Reilly's like equal in battle would be a dumpy 26-year-old guy
I mean, that could be.
who's never been in a fight before, which sounds really bad for me because they're like, who's your rival? And I'd be like, a 66-year-old man. That's the like only Bill O'Reilly is worthy of an ass kicking from me.
I wonder if having that kind of money and fame means you can stay in shape a little better than you otherwise would.
I don't know. Whenever
Like maybe he's got you in physical fitness.
You know what? To be honest, he probably does. But at the same time, something makes me think that he stores a lot of snackage in that little what do you want to call it?
Where are you going with this?
His turkey neck.
Turkey neck.
Yeah, look at his fucking face.
You know what I think would probably cover that up nicely?
A beard.
Would be a Duck Dynasty style beard. Normally found on 26-year-old pudgy men.
Oh shit, you got me there.
You're just hiding your turkey neck, aren't you?
Well, I don't know. I have a turkey neck, but it doesn't just stop at my neck. It goes down to my tits and my stomach, and
Okay, you're a turkey. We get it. Gobble gobble.
yep, I have the effect of a turkey neck, but it's just all over my entire body. Or like if you've seen somebody that used to weigh like 600 pounds, and then they lose a lot of weight and they have all that extra skin.
Looks like something out of a horror film.
Yeah, imagine somebody being fat but still managing to have all that extra skin. That's what I look like.
You'd have to have that cut off eventually. Like it would look like you took other people's skin and sewed it on.
So I think you could find somebody like Ed Gein, and he would just love the shit out of you because you'd have so much skin.
We have strayed
Yep.
so far.
Yep.
All right, wrapping it up. Bill Riley, if you're listening, first of all, why? Second of all, you hit your wife, you're a despicable human being. You don't deserve that. You don't deserve to have that family, and they should be taken from you. If you didn't, and you were trying to just catch her, she fell down the stairs, then you need to be a better communicator, because that's not what we got from the story. So you can call in and let us know sometime. All right?
Yep.
No, here at the end of the podcast, I'll announce Andy's cell phone number so that way you can call in.
Thirdly,
No.
Thirdly, Mr. O'Reilly, fix your fucking neck. Seriously.
I think what he meant was grow a beard to cover your turkey body. So, question: if he grew a beard to cover his turkey neck, what did you grow to cover your entire turkey body? Are you wearing like a thick black hair sweater underneath those clothes?
Do you watch Game of Thrones?
No.
Okay, well, for our listeners who watch Game of Thrones, I would wear Jon Snow's cloak from when he was on the Night's Watch. Which essentially...
And by that, I'm guessing that means you have an incredibly hairy body.
Yes. Because essentially it's just a giant, like, cloak of fur, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Interesting.
So when you start going gray, if your back hair goes first, could we refer to you as the silverback gorilla?
Yes, absolutely.
That will happen. Quoted. It's recorded. You can't get away from it.
It's in history. This is going in the Library of Congress tomorrow. Okay, so what do you got for us?
Let's see. We got a few things going on here that are interesting. Ooh, that's a. I want to say it's a touchy headline, and that's both accurate, inaccurate, and weirdly accurate. Let's see. Emma Watson advises fans to check out sex website. I mean, at this point, people are wondering if what they've been after for all these years, all these perverts like yourself, are chasing her down, and, is she finally given in and made her own site? It looks like no. She is a member of a site called OMG Yes. OMG Yes. It is, according to the interview that she was taking in here, a complete study of female sexuality. Which begs the question, why does she need to study female sexuality? But
Lifting the veil on women's sexual pleasure. Explore the specific ways different women find pleasure based on new research. Refreshingly open and honest videos and a new way to try each technique right on your touch screen.
So it is a touchy headline then.
Oh my god, yes.
I was right.
I don't even know.
On your touch screen?
So is this
That sounds really strange.
so what is this okay, hold on.
I imagine like a digital version of like a your own storybook, the one where you get to make the decision and go onto a different page, and she's like, oh yes, that's awesome, or she's like, no, for real, let's just be friends. Like, I mean,
Turn to page 6 for 2 orgasms. Turn to page
put
12.
your tongue on the screen.
Turn to page 12 for blistering heartbreak. Okay, so I'm looking at this website and I think this is what I'm getting from it. It sounds like it sounds like a website to teach women how to masturbate better. I think that's what it is. You have to pay for it.
How come it's just for women? Why can't guys get on there and learn the secrets?
I don't know.
You don't think
Let's
you'd
see.
be interested in doing that?
Well, it's all geared toward. It's not like I can. Never mind.
I guess I wasn't following you there. Where were you going with that, Andy? The site conducted research with more than 2,000 women in conjunction with Indiana University and the Kinsey Institute, and offers up advice on sexual techniques you can try tonight.
Try a sample for free.
Interesting.
I clicked it.
Do you have to put in your credit card? Does it charge you by the minute?
First thing.
You clicked it?
Yeah, I clicked free sample. First thing that loads on the screen is try edging. I don't know if you guys know what edging is, but it's
You're going to
where...
have to explain that.
Okay. If you are edging, what that means is that right when you're about to reach climax, you like pull back and you stop. And you're like, whoa. And you just chill. And you let your, I don't know, your sex meter like go down again. And then you keep going. Which for men, what this means is you can go a lot longer. And apparently what it's supposed to do is whenever you finally actually do climax, it's supposed to be like super, super intense.
Really?
Right. That's the rumors I've heard about it. I don't know if that's true.
Is this like that time you heard the rumor about choking yourself during, and then like we found you awkwardly in your underwear in the front room, tied to a door?
No, that was what was that guy's name? The Kung Fu Master dude.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Robin Williams.
No. Did you ever see World's Greatest Dad?
I'm uncertain.
Okay, you need to get out of the fucking rock you live under and start watching things on TV.
Uh-huh. I work 12 hours a day, and then I've got 4 kids when I get home. So, you know.
Mm-hmm. I worked 9 hours today, and I have 3 kids, and I still managed to squeeze in 1.5 episodes of Game of Thrones and do a goddamn podcast with you.
I'm doing the podcast.
So here's what you have to remember is you don't have to pay that much attention to your wife and kids. It's called
Really?
It's called prioritizing.
You may get more out of that website than you thought. This is about me.
So Emma
How's your free
Watson,
sample going?
I've edged like 6 times since we brought it up. So
Not on the phone.
yeah, yep, all over the phone. So Emma Watson is a member of this.
I don't know.
Or
It almost
just
sounds like
associated
she's
with
pimping it. She's definitely pimping it.
Let's see.
She also used the opportunity to announce she's taking a year away from acting to read and learn more about feminism.
What does she have to learn about feminism? Like, she's a female.
She seems pretty good at it.
Like, well, what kind of feminist is she? Like, is she really for? Is she really all about
I'm gonna
empowering
guess
women?
women.
No, well, clearly. But what I'm saying is it really all about empowering women, or is she the kind of feminist that just likes to talk shit on men?
I'm guessing that's not it. I'm guessing she's probably about true and honest equality in all ways. And this is a very taboo subject that I suppose a lot of people could avoid because of that taboo. And yeah, this could be helpful for people, I suppose. I mean, I'm not a woman, so I don't know, so I don't like to guess at that. But
I mean, because here's the thing with me. Like, I don't have a problem with feminism. Like, I'm very pro-feminism when it comes to gender equality, and you know, I don't like to hear about people mistreating women, but if it goes up to the point of empowering women and it doesn't go beyond that to where you're, and this sounds bad at first, but let me explain it. But as long as you don't go to
hold
the
on,
point,
folks.
as long as you don't go to the point of where you're lifting women up, or you're like, I don't know, exalting them above men, that's when I start to have a problem. Not that I'm, you know, not that I'm like male centric, or, you know, not that I don't know, want this world to be a male centric world. I'm just saying, like, if we're talking gender equality, let's talk about actual gender equality. You know, if a woman in a bar comes up to me and touches me inappropriately, if I punch her in the face, every guy in that bar is going to come and beat the shit out of me. But if I go up to a girl and touch her inappropriately and she punches me in the face, every guy in that bar is going to beat the shit out of me. So
what we're saying is, if there's inappropriate touching, you get beat up.
yeah, no matter what. If some girl comes up and grabs my dick, I'm getting punched in the face no matter what. So that's the problem that I have with, like, people who are overly feministic, you know? And I don't know. I think when it gets to that point, you're kind of unfairly stacking things against men. And I mean, I understand there's some shitty guys out there, but there's also some shitty girls. So if we're talking gender equality, if you come up and touch me in a way that I don't like, then it should be totally okay for me to punch you in the face.
I was really hoping you'd get to that part of the story.
But to me, punching women,
To where you would feel that it's okay to punch a woman in the face.
I feel like it's okay if a girl comes up and punches me in the face for no reason, I'm gonna punch her in the face back. Like, I'm gonna defend myself.
I bet if Emma Watson walked up to you in a bar and punched you in your face, you'd probably cry on the floor.
Okay, well, regardless of who punches me in the face, there's going to be tears on my end.
I can think of some other women who would definitely not need help. I mean, I'm not talking Ronda Rousey or anybody like that. Let's just stick to celebrities. I think we should come up with a list of celebrities, women, who could beat up Andy.
Okay, I'm gonna go on the record in the beginning of this to say all of them.
Mm-hmm. All of them.
All of them.
But some would be more interesting than others. You know what I mean, really, all of them?
Michelle Rodriguez obviously would beat the shit out of me, but
Ooh.
I feel like I would get raped afterwards.
Is that possible?
Possible for me to get raped?
Yeah.
It's totally possible for men to get raped. Men
By
get
a
raped
girl?
Yeah. See, this is what I'm talking. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This
There's
is
a physical difference. I mean, unless what's... Yeah, I'm not going to ask that question.
okay. No. Women raping men, that happens all the time, and there's virtually no help for men that get raped by women, and it's sad because some of these men, they're too afraid to go and say anything, and it's because of the response that you just gave. There was, I don't know, and because that response, that is stemming from this boys are stronger than girls mentality that most of us have had ever since we were little.
No,
And so-
that's stemming from my wondering how you got an erection while someone was raping you.
Okay,
That's what that's stemming from. Like, oh yeah, this is terrible. I'm getting excited.
yeah, but you're getting an erection. That's a natural response. It's not like you look down at your penis and say, "Hey, get hard." No, it's
I
when
don't
they're-
think it's a natural response to physical violence.
no. It's a natural response to certain stimulus. So if a woman is if a guy is in a situation that he can't control, and if a girl is touching him in a certain way, then it's stimulus, and the brain responds to that stimulus.
I would think the stimulus would probably... Wait, are we talking about raped or are you talking about groped?
Well, what I'm talking about is rape, and
Because I'm guessing that that entails a fair amount of physical violence first. And then the stimulus would be like fight or flight, probably not get excited.
all right, we're gonna do some actual research on this because this is getting pretty intense.
Oh, man.
1 in
So while
6.
Andy researches that,
1
1 in 6 what?
1 in 6 men have experienced abusive sexual experiences before age 18, and this is probably a low estimate. Well, hold on. Don't take my word for it. Just for that.
Were you looking at the Onion?
No, I'm looking.
You were
at-
trolling the Onion, weren't you?
No.
Okay, so what was it? Just for what now?
Hold on.
I refuse to hold on. We're going to move on.
Hold.
We're not going to play the Jeopardy song.
Cool your tits, dude.
Na, 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 na. Turd Ferguson. Did you see that where he actually said that?
What?
Where Trebek actually had to say Turd Ferguson on TV. Did you see that one?
I like how. See, last episode, Steve was like, I don't watch TV. But apparently he has seen the one episode of Jeopardy where Alex Trebek had to say Turd Ferguson.
Dude, they played that on the radio for crying out loud. Like, it was everywhere for like that whole week. Everybody's really excited about this dude talking about Turd Ferguson. That's funny.
All right. Thoughtcatalog.com.
Thoughtcatalog.com.
This was posted-
epitome of reliable sources.
This was posted on August 1st, 2014. 19 men share stories of being raped by a woman. Number 1 says, I must have said no 1,000 times. Being raped by a woman isn't cool and you aren't lucky. When I was 21, I was raped by the girl who was my girlfriend at the time. The worst day of my life was when she decided to tie me up. There you go. Tied up. Maybe it made him feel uncomfortable and she wouldn't stop.
Uh-huh.
So that's, and I've heard stuff like that before. Let's see. Number 2, they said since it was a girl doing
Why would you
it,
let yourself get tied up?
I,
Like, I'm guessing she didn't like knock him unconscious and he woke up that way.
well, okay. If put it to you this way, say say the girl's like, well, why don't we try this?
Is this really just about the lack of a safe word?
And you're like, okay. No, it's not about the lack of a safe word. It might be lack of respect for a safe word. You see what I'm saying? So
Maybe.
so a girl comes up to a guy and says, "Hey, I want to try tying you up." And he's like, okay." So he tries it, but then he's like, "I don't really feel comfortable with this." And she doesn't untie him, and he's like, "No, seriously, stop." And she doesn't do it. She does not respect his boundaries at all. That is rape.
That it would be. I guess maybe there's some parts of that I don't understand, nor do I ever want to. So we're going to go with taking sexual advantage of anybody is completely wrong, and such people should be, jailed and or worse.
All right, and then for this whole topic coming full circle, it would be totally okay for me to punch Emma Watson in the face in a bar.
Dude, she would totally beat you up. I'm telling you now.
Well, she's got magic on her side.
You had to go there. Can
Oh,
we
yeah.
not make it through one podcast without talking about Harry Potter?
Okay, quick question. If Emma Watson was in a porno, what would you call it? Or better yet, what would her stage name be?
Oh, Andy. You are treading in dark waters, my friend.
All right, we can move on. Let's see.
You're not going to throw it out there. You're just going to move on.
Yeah. You didn't.
All right.
You're wanting to play it safe, man, so.
Well, I am playing it safe, but that's not my part of the podcast is playing it safe.
Hermione Banger.
There it is. There it is. Something tells me you've spent way too much time thinking about that one.
Dude, I'm not even going to lie, and I'm not even trying to brag or anything. It took me like 2 seconds to come up with.
Yeah.
There's not very
2 seconds, and you're done.
There are not very many things I'm good at, but coming up with a porn name for Hermione Granger is one of them, obviously.
Mark it on the list.
Yep.
All right. So that being said, I think that website looks like it could be a very good thing for a lot of women. And yeah, if you're a lady listening to this podcast, again, why? And second, you should probably check that out. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't, but at least you'll be able to turn it off. So let's see. I'm reading here on the Daily Mail because they have all the good news for some reason. And by good, I mean like interesting. Not necessarily good news. I mean, this next one's about a dead guy. So the tragedy that haunted the mummified mariner. Body of German adventurer was found hunched over the table on his yacht next to a note to his dead wife and fading photos that provide clues to his past. Manfred Fritz Bajorat. I hope I didn't butcher that last name. I apologize. He's German. That's tough language. Let's see. 59 years old, found off the coast of Barabo? I'm so uncivilized. I have no idea where that is. Not Florida, I'm guessing. Holy cow, they've got pictures. Have you seen these?
No, what is this again?
This is on the Daily Mail, but it's, you could probably just look up mummified sailor and find it real quick.
Mummified sailor?
Yeah, S-A-I-L, sailor.
Mummified sailor. Let's see. Mummified German sailor. I found an article about it, but it was on the Guardian. Manfred.
Well, they're
Fritz
almost the same thing, right?
Bajorat.
Bajorat? Bajorat? I don't know.
Bajorat. I'm just gonna call him Borat.
Very nice.
He was alive, not.
Oh, that's...
Holy
yeah, it's just...
crap.
Yeah, there it is. Now you see it.
Okay, we're gonna have to put a link to this up.
Not for the squeamish, ladies and gentlemen.
Not for the squeamish at all.
Children and people of very, very low levels of gore are going to need to leave the room. This is pretty bad.
I thought you were gonna say like parents of young children. First
Weak
of all,
constitutions, make your way to the rear of the theater.
if any of you are listening to this with a kid, then you should probably reevaluate your life.
You're holding your children right now, aren't you?
No, both of mine are in bed.
Oh, okay.
I say
It's
both
not
of
a
mine.
bad-looking yacht.
Right? Yeah, that's a nice boat. Dude, that guy
Holy
is
cow, they say the last time anybody saw him was 2009.
God in heaven. Dude,
That's a big ocean.
Dude, that guy is at least 7 different kinds of dead. I wonder, did it say how he died?
No, it says that they don't know anything, but they didn't find any weapons or evidence of other people, no foul play suspected, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the dude's like laying over the table. He probably like had a heart attack or he died of exposure.
He's all gray because
This is off the Philippines. That's where it is.
the picture of him. He's all gray, and it says
Ashy.
no. It says it's because he's covered in mold.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
30. According to the Mirror, the note. Let's see. Looks like there was a note found.
Note to his wife.
Note to his wife. 30 years we've been together on the same path. Then the power of the demons was stronger than the will to live. You're gone. May your soul find its peace. Your Manfred.
Okay, so she died.
Yeah. And then he
See, that's...
followed suit. Man, that's so sad.
Well, I mean, eventually, don't we all, but... Wow, think about that. He's been floating out there since 2009, and nobody's run into him? Nobody's...
7 years. So that's what you look like 7 years after you die.
If you died in a ship in the South Pacific drifting
Wow.
around.
So, I mean, it was literally drifting around in the ocean for 7 years?
Well, we don't know, but, like... I can tell you, on a 40-foot boat, there's no way that dude was staying out more than, a month or two at a time max, even by himself. He wouldn't be able to carry enough food to survive that long in that boat. So I'm going to go with most of it, yeah.
Wow, that is insane. 7 years. Okay. So, to those of you listening, this is Stephen and I's second attempt to record this episode. We got fed up with my shitty internet. We threw in the towel, and so we're trying a couple different things. So, the first time we tried to record this episode, we were going to talk about a story from Salt Lake City, and I just kind of want to talk about it a little bit because I've been doing a little bit of research on it. What happened is on February 27th at 10 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night.
Messed it up already.
I did, I'm sorry. Police shot a male involved in a fight in the Rio Grande district of Salt Lake City, and crowds of angry people shouted and threw things at police officers, prompting a massive police response. Now, this is also a long article, so I'm going to give you the gist. The gist of this is, there was an altercation between a guy named Abdi and another guy whose name I don't know. They were fighting. Some other members of the community were trying to break up this fight. Well, 2 police officers showed up. What happened is Abdi, he's 17, he wound up getting shot 4 times by one of these police officers.
Wow.
He was armed, okay? The police have that. At least he was armed. The thing is, he was armed with a broomstick. Not a boomstick.
Broomstick.
My boomstick. No, it was a broom stick. So
Maybe they got tired of hearing Chim Chimney.
Dick Van Dyke can suck it, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, so the kid got shot 4 times. All right, the most recent reports are saying that he's in a critical condition, but it looks like he's going to pull through.
He didn't die.
He did not die, as far as we know.
Did they
So-
shoot him in the foot 4 times?
I don't know. It didn't say where they shot him. Now, whenever I saw this, I was like, this is going to be another one of those Michael Brown things where there's a huge riot because some gangbanger got shot by the cops.
So
Well,
the guy's black then?
yes, he's a black kid.
Oh, okay.
His name is Abdi Muhammad, which does not sound black, but he is black.
Okay.
So what happens is he gets shot 4 times. The other members of the community are like, whoa, that was unnecessary. And so they start to kind of retaliate on his behalf. They start throwing things at the police call in backup. Over 100 police officers show up. Okay. So whenever I first saw this story, I was like, oh, okay. We could just talk about it, kind of shoot the shit a little bit. Not that big of a deal. But then I started to think about it a little more, and I'm like, okay. Was the kid trying to attack the police? Okay. Let's take this. Let's just do a thought experiment. If he did attack the police and they shot him, I could understand why they shot him if he was a very long ways away. But if they have a 9mm pistol is what police commonly use?
It varies department by department, so we wouldn't know.
Okay, so but if we're just assuming that it's a pistol, all right? Because I doubt they went out there with sniper rifles. That's what I'm saying. We can assume that there was a pistol, and if it's a long ways away, like far enough away where you can't tell if it's a broomstick, like if you can't tell if he's holding a broom or a freaking semi-automatic rifle or something, then he's not close enough to where you can fire off 4 rounds accurately. Okay?
So what time of day did this occur? Because
This
it
is
sounds like you're assuming this took place at noon.
No. It didn't take place. No, it took place at 8:00 p.m. Okay.
Okay, in the dark then.
No, it was not in the dark. It was in a heavily populated area, so there's streetlights everywhere. Okay. Not only that, but there's a police car right next to him. It's not like the police car pulls up without their headlights on. Okay.
But now we're
So-
making assumptions that he's standing under a streetlight or in the beams of the car's headlights.
Okay. You know what? You're right. We are making
Thought
assumptions with
experiment.
that. Okay. You're right about that. So, okay, sorry, forget the thought experiment. So he gets shot 4 times. People start to retaliate. They call in 100 police officers. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whenever I saw that, one thing I thought is, okay, did they have tasers? So I called the Salt Lake City Police Department.
You did not.
I did. And I spoke with a lovely lady. She was a dispatcher. And I said, I just want to know if Salt Lake City police officers are legally required to carry a taser. And she was like, I don't know. But she said that what she could do is send a message to a police officer and he could call me back. Unfortunately, I don't have the technology to record phone calls well, or I would have recorded this. And so, take it with a grain of salt, because really you're just taking a random guy on the internet's word for it. But I get a call from this police officer, and I ask him, are Salt Lake City police officers legally required to carry tasers? And he said, I can't tell you that over the phone. He said I could make an official inquiry on the website. So I went to their website, didn't find anything about an official inquiry. So I just went to the contact us link and sent them an email. So just today, I get an email back. Now, this is a few days ago that I emailed them. But today, probably about 2 hours ago, I got an email from the Salt Lake City Police Department saying that, yes, they are legally required to carry them, and they do. So then that goes back to him getting shot 4 times. He's got a broomstick. Why the fuck didn't you just tase him? Or even even if they were like, maybe he's got a sword, still, you could tase him.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, as the expression is correctly used, idiot. And I'm going
Fuck
to go with, I'm going to go with, I am pulling up to the scene. I'm a cop, all right? There's two dudes fighting, really like duking it out, dragging each other around. I don't know, one of them's hitting the other one with something. He's obviously armed with something. And I get out of the car, and first reaction is you gotta have containment, and you gotta make yourself safe, obviously. You know, dude's gotta go home with his wife and kids, I'm betting. So, probably gets his gun out to protect himself, maintain distance, and take control of the situation. Now, obviously, could have done just the same thing with a taser. That being said, he probably did not receive adequate training in use of a taser or when to be holding a taser versus a handgun. And I'm betting that the training that he did receive was if there's danger, you get your gun out because that's how you protect yourself. And I'm pretty sure that's probably ingrained in them from, like, you know, Academy Day 1. So I'm guessing that that's probably the weapon he had out at the time. And if he was rushed in any sense of the word, I'm guessing he didn't think, I probably have time to drop my gun or holster it appropriately, you know, and take the safety off, which would be the responsible thing to do, and then get my taser out and tase this guy before he assaults me, or he's on top of me, or he's taking my gun out of the holster because I put it away hurriedly, and now he's on top of me taking it away from me, and I'm dead. So I'm guessing that in lack of that thought process, I'm guessing he probably had his gun out, and then there's a possibility that if the guy rushes him, he's going to shoot out of instinct. So maybe it's more a lack of training on the police department's part, and less, you know, this jackwagon shot a guy when he didn't have to.
Right. Well, I wonder if training dictates that if you come up on something like that, your first choice should be your pistol, and then upon what's the word I'm thinking of? Upon kind of scoping out the situation, then you can determine whether a pistol or a taser is necessary. So
it very well may be. The other thing it could be is that, like I said, he's probably trained with a weapon from the time he was in, you know, rookie status at Academy. And then who knows, maybe they added tasers just a couple of years ago and sent out a memo, hey, start carrying tasers. It's less lethal. You know, people like it. Let's you know, let's not go out there and murder anybody.
So what you're saying is that in the heat of the situation, his knowledge of a taser was not strong enough to kind of overcome that muscle memory that he'd been used to.
I'm guessing he had his gun out already, because that's what he does every time he gets in a situation that's dangerous, because that's what he was trained to do. And then once he had it out, he felt threatened for his life and shot the guy.
I think you and I are basically saying the same thing, just in a different way.
Really, it's down to, I think, the police departments to implement the use of these things and see that they're followed through with. And I honestly, I cannot condone the actions of Iceland and say that that's the way to do it. But an interesting fact, I was reading a story today about Iceland, and it's a town in Iceland, and I'd pronounce it, but it's Icelandic, so it's physically impossible because I'm not Icelandic. But we're going to go with Horken Bjorken Jorkenstord. I don't know how it's said, but it's got all those letters in it.
It's just
There's
like
way too many consonants in those words.
I was going to say somebody took a handful of consonants and threw it against the wall. Whichever one stuck,
much.
they're like, that's what we're calling it.
That's what we're calling it. It's like they recorded a sneeze in slow motion and then played it back.
Remember when that...
So anyway, they had their first police shooting. I think it was December of last year. They had their first police shooting fatality in Iceland as a country. Okay, let that sink in for a minute. Like, this happens almost daily here. As a country, this is the first time that's ever happened. And, like, the whole country's in mourning. Like, it was a really, really big deal for them. And it's also interesting to note that like almost no police officers in Iceland carry handguns or you know actual weapons of any sort. They will carry like a taser, and that's pretty much as hardcore as it gets, and then maybe like a billy club or something. But like 99% of them don't carry anything. They
Wow.
just don't have violence as a society in their lifestyles. I think some of that has to do with standard of living, type of living that they do, lower stress and all that, and they probably don't listen to podcasts like this that make them angry. But interestingly enough, like you would think, well, that's just because they're not a big gun society. Actually, for being, as far as size goes, like a teeny tiny country out there, Iceland, 15th in the world per capita for firearm ownership in the country. 15th.
Wow.
So it's not like they don't have guns around. They have, sporting competitions with guns, and they have hunting and things like that. But violence is just not a part of their society, and their police manage it differently. So,
See,
interesting thought.
I'd like to take Iceland's education system and compare it to America's education system and just see what the differences are. Just see kind of how they contrast.
First of all, that's physically impossible because it's Icelandic. So, I'm not even sure if it is a language. Like, yeah, I've heard it spoken before, and I'm telling you, I think they were making it up just to mess with me. Like, I'm pretty sure when tourists aren't around, they all just speak English.
Like
And then
that.
when they're around, they just go off on that stuff and then laugh at you as you try to, like, nod your head and keep up. Maybe that's why they have such low stress levels. They mock Americans constantly in their faces. Makes me feel better.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, because the way I'm thinking of is I wonder if that all goes back to how they're educated, because I mean, your education starts pretty much from the day that you're born until you're 18, 17 or 18 in the United States. And there was a political comic I saw one time, and it showed like an owl, and there were all these different animals, like a zebra and an elephant and a giraffe and a snake and a chimpanzee. And the owl said, "This is your education. All of you have to climb that tree." And that was its big poke at Americans, or at the United States educational system.
Uh-huh.
Because not everybody learns things the same way. But I feel like when it comes down to that can have lots of negative effects for the society as a whole later in life. And I could just be totally talking out my ass. I don't know. I'm not an expert on anything.
I'm lost. Where does a quality education end up with being a negative effect on their life? I'm not tracking.
A quality
Or are you talking
education?
Americans' education turns out to be a negative effect on their life?
I'm saying that maybe what I'm saying is this is just I'm just kind of entertaining the idea that maybe the way that we educate kids might have something to do with the difference in the societies and the fact that they are experiencing their first, is it police death?
Yeah, police shooting fatality.
Okay. The Iceland is experiencing its first police shooting fatality, and they have guns all over the place in Iceland compared to America, where, like you said, this happens every single day, and there's also guns all over the place here. So what it makes me wonder is, okay, I wonder if you compare the way that they educate their children over there, I wonder what differences you'll find, and I wonder if those have anything to do with the way that our societies differ. Does that
I'm
make
not
sense?
sure, but I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure you're blaming teachers for violence. Yeah, that's what it is. So if you're
No.
a teacher, write to us. Actually, I'll give you his cell phone number. You can call in. No, I think I understand what you're getting at, and I think that, well, firstly, I'm going to go out on a limb again because that's what people do, And I'm going to say that they probably have fewer divisive issues, topics, differences amongst their people in Iceland. They probably make it easier for them to get along. People are probably far more similar, and here we're this big melting pot of societies and ideas and thoughts, and where the average guy can walk around and bump into psychopaths like you, and not even know it. And so I'm sure that has something to do with it, because I'm pretty sure that the permanent immigration status in Iceland has got to be next to nothing. Because again, going back, I know, beating a dead horse here. Have you heard him talk? Can you imagine trying to move to that country? That's starved to death.
Okay, so I am blaming teachers for violence in America. Steven just hates immigrants and diversity.
Wow, you really are good at that spin zone thing.
Oh yeah.
Bill
you know
would
what?
be impressed.
I grew up listening to.
Bill,
Glenn-
Andy's falling down the stairs. Help him.
No, don't. I want to live.
I want to live.
Oh man. No, but I don't know. As far as education thing, that was just an idea. I don't think that teachers are responsible for violence. I think you're responsible for all the gays in America. That's just my own opinion. So
Wow.
that was also a joke. Let's cool it.
So is Donald Trump going to have to disavow your supporting him from now on?
I don't know. I think the fact that I'm white is much stronger than the fact that I don't know. I think I'm pretty much golden in his eyes. As soon as I turn even remotely brown, I think that's when he's going to be like, let's get him out of here. Nuke him. What do you think?
I think Donald Trump would beat you up.
Again, any famous woman can beat me up.
Any famous woman, including Donald Trump, huh?
Including Donald Trump. Okay, what do you think? Have we ran out of steam yet?
I don't know. We could probably always, what's it called? Edge it?
Edge it? Yeah.
We could edge it,
Okay.
but that means we'd have to end on something awesome.
I have a story.
Okay.
So, I was at work, and I had a customer, and this is 100% true. I had one of
I think they call them Johns in the profession.
One of my female customers tried to fuck me, which sounds really awesome until you find out that I work for a company that delivers medical equipment to old people. And I think I was about the first dick she'd seen in 80 years, at least. This woman was easily 1,000 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my story.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay,
we
so we
to
officially
finish on a bang, and you tell that.
What, do you have a story? Give me one better.
I found $5. It's automatically better.
Thank you very much for listening. This is the Left, Right, and Wrong podcast. My name is Andy.
And I'm Steven.
Thank you very much. Have a good night. Peace out.
And we're sorry.
Bye.